My name is Courtney. I am the owner and creator of CocoLOVEVino, which was formerly Yum the Brownie Bar. CocoLOVEVino is a culmination of just all the things that I love. It's a culmination of indulgent things. Ultimately, it's going to be a brand that sells hand-mixed, handmade coffees. We'll still do some very small batch, decadent desserts here and there. Content creation fulfills me because it gives me something to look forward to. Often, we get caught in the rat race and the, every day and the hustle and bustle, and the opportunity is kind of a release. It's a little like therapy, it's a lot of like back and forth. This worked, this didn't work. Back to the drawing board. It keeps my mind working. Black women should always be creating because we are the innovators. Everything that you see, Black women had a hand in. And it's just now that people are starting to realize that. Right now, we're starting to get our flowers, but we're always the blueprint. So if you're the blueprint, you can't stop. And you have to understand that there's nothing wrong with where you start. I think that's where we all struggle. Like you see somebody else's 10 and you didn't even know anything about one, but you had to start at one. So get out there, get it done, and see what happens. If it don't work, do it again. I feel like when I bake, when I cook, this is a moment, you know what I mean? You look forward to the first bite. What's the given? I feel like it's the same thing, that first sip of coffee, that first sip of wine, that moment. And that is something that I think we get away from cherishing. Everything I baked came naturally. And it came naturally because, my grandmother baked. Then my grandmother died. And I didn't want to bake anymore because, if I had questions, she was who I would ask. And I didn't have that anymore. She was who I learned from. And I was already not feeling it. But when she died, I don't think it was by accident. The day she died, I had a big promotion going on. And it just stopped. And I think that day I just stopped too. So I had a huge promotion. I had 70 something sales. It was all these things that were happening that day. And it stopped. And after that, it never felt the same, and I never wanted to do it that way again. And I'm just like, I'm not going to. What I needed to do was figure out the things that I looked forward to. It would be days that I didn't turn the lights on, but I would wake up, okay, if I can get through this first meeting this morning, I can get a cup of coffee. Like, that's what my timing, that's what it was. Like, all right, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I looked forward to it, and I'm gonna have a glass of wine when I get home. Like, and that's how my mind started working. I still ain't turned them damn lights on, but these were the things I was looking forward to. If I can create things that remind people to look for those highlights in your day. If we're talking about the first sip of coffee in a day, the coffee that I plan to create with CocoLOVEVino is going to stand out to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's responsibly sourced. It's made by somebody who looks like you, because that's my customers are going to be people who look like me. It caters to taste and flavors and things that are not, that you may not find everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's something to look forward to. When I post on Instagram, when I take a picture, I am as close to it as I can be, because I want you to see the bubbles in the coffee. I want you to see the cinnamon on the cinnamon roll. I want you to see all of it, because those are things that stand out. Those are the highlights. And I want to make sure that the things that I create are always a highlight. Coffee is the centerpiece for so many conversations. People have meetings in coffee shops, and they're the backdrop for dates and all of that type of stuff. So it's like, why not? And again, if we're talking about Black women being the people who create, why wouldn't a Black woman create coffee? And the places where coffee starts, those people look like me. You know, in an ideal world, I can start to do coffee tours. I'm starting in Haiti. I'm going to Zanzibar. I'm going to Costa Rica, because those are people who look like me, for real. Just nobody told y'all, you know what I mean? No shade. The people who create the coffee don't look like who you see in Starbucks. So, you know, why not?